Hey guys, Chainer here again. Today I just kind of wanted to go over a few things. Lately I've been getting a lot of questions, especially when I'm live streaming, like, why am I using physical damage instead of fire damage? Or, why am I using Chylanic's Chain instead of Pride of Cassius? Why am I not using Frenzy? Why am I using Fire Ancients? Why am I using Run Like the Wind? And honestly, it's the same answer for all these questions. See, the thing about Diablo is that there's a lot of different things you could do in the game. And there's tons and tons of different difficulties. I mean, we have normal through Torment 6, and then we have Greater Rift 1 all the way through a possible, Greater Rift 100, even though Greater Rift 60 might be like the top we see. But regardless, there are many different difficulties. And on top of that, we have even more things to do. There's regular rifts, there's bounty runs, there's greater rifts, there's key runs, there's uber runs, there's, speed greater rifts, 1% greater rifts, progression greater rifts. You might need to do a few greater rifts just to level a legendary gem that you haven't leveled before. There are so many different things you could do in this game. And each different thing kind of requires something different from you. In one run, you might be able to easily one-shot any mob with any ability. And in another run, that might not be the case. In one run, you don't have to worry about defense at all. Like, there's nothing that could kill you, even if you ran around, without any legendary items on. Say if you're, like, power leveling someone, or something silly like that. So, basically, you could kind of think about each class almost like it was a mountain bike. Alright, so when you're doing something like low difficulty and you're just trying to get through as fast as possible, you want to crank your gears up so you could go as fast as possible. But when you're doing something higher like greater rift progression, you want to slow it down. Say you're going uphill, you want to slow it down so that you ensure you'll get through it okay. And I think that's something a lot of people don't really understand or don't really see that right away. Basically, there's never a point in this game where you're just going to slap on a few pieces of gear, you're going to slap on certain stats, you're going to slap on a certain build, and you're never going to touch it again until you get an upgrade. It doesn't work like that. Because for each different thing, like I said, you want to try to hit maximum efficiency. If you're a player like that, that's the type of player I am. So when I get these questions, like, why am I using this instead of that? Because, well, I feel this is more efficient for what I'm doing right now than that. Like, I'm not going to use my Greater Rift progression build when I'm doing Greater Rift 40 speed runs for experience. For each different type of run, for each different difficulty that I do, I need to find a balance between defense, speed, damage, and, well, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just defense, speed, and damage. Like I said, there may be certain runs where, say if I'm power leveling someone, and, the person makes a level 1 game on T6, any ability that I use is just going to one-shot every mob. So what I'm going to try to do is try to get an ability with good sustain and a wide AoE screen clearing radius. Along with maybe things that buff my party's movement speed so I can get the person I'm power leveling to run along faster with me. You understand? I mean, if I'm not doing Greater Rift progression, there's no reason for me to use Ignore Pain. So I'm not going to use Pride of Cassius. Instead, I'll take Chylanic's Chain because it's going to get me to move faster. So when I don't have many mobs to charge, I could just run through areas until I get more mobs to charge. And say that if I am doing T6, but you know, I don't have my gear all maxed out, because right now my gear is really, it's pretty damn good. My gear is pretty good. I have an ancient furnace, I have my full set and everything. Some really good gear. But if I didn't, like, maybe I'll sacrifice the Chilanic chain, I'll sacrifice that movement speed, and go with something like a Harrington's belt, which could do more than double my damage for 10 seconds every time I open a chest. Like I said, I give up movement speed for that, so I'm gonna run through the rift slower, but I'll be able to kill things quicker. And that's not dependent on, you know, what's BIS, what's best in slot, or, you know, it doesn't even come down to, hey, what's the best for T6 runs? Because it all depends on your own gearing options, your own capabilities. Like I said, I recommend Chilanic Chain and Warcry for these type of runs, these type of speed runs. But if you're not quite there on the damage, like I said, you know what? Harrington's belt is probably gonna be better for you, and you'll probably clear overall. You'll clear quicker with something like Harrington's belt. So, like I said, I'm just making this video because I've been getting tons and tons and tons of questions of why I'm using this or over that, and I just wanted to kind of clarify that. Now, another thing is like elemental damage. Why am I using physical over fire? Why am I not using fire? Can I use lightning? Can I use cold? Well, it really all just depends, but say, I can only speak for the Raycore Barb right now, but if, you know, the only things I had were like fire, if I only had an Ancient Maximus and I only had a Fire Stone of Jordan, then you know what? I'm probably going to go with fire, because fire is best for me, because I don't have a physical Stone of Jordan. I don't have a furnace, I don't have a Heart Slaughter, and all that stuff. So, like I said, you know, fire is going to be best for me. Or maybe I'm doing trials. I don't have a heart. I don't have a Heart Slaughter. So if I want to do trials, which I did a little bit of so far in 2.1.2, I managed to get a Greater Rift 47 key in a solo barb trial, and that was using Maximus in a fire build. There are obviously no elites in trials, so in trials, furnace is not used. You're going to use either, like I said, you're going to use a Maximus, you're going to use a Heart Slaughter. Heart Slaughter is probably the way to go, honestly. Did I miss the blood shards? I think I did. Yes, I did. But yeah, what I had to do was I had to go with my Ancient Maximus. Right now it's like, alright, well, you know, strong arm bracers do work for Furious Charge, and I could slap them on, but you know what? It's to the point right now where I don't even need the damage. I'm clearing so quick. So to save myself the trouble of going in my inventory and swapping my Nemesis bracers and then stopping and swapping them back and stopping, and you know, I feel like I could save myself a little bit of time and make the run more fluid by just leaving on the Nemesis bracers. But mainly, you know, I guess I could be a little lazy, but the thing is that it doesn't really affect my clear speed by doing so. Now, someone else, like I said, who doesn't have, you know, the damage to just blow through T6 might not want to do that. Might not want to just leave on the Nemesis bracers. Or they might not want to use this Flavor of Time. Maybe, like, yeah, Flavor of Time's good and all, but maybe you want to use Hellfire, or maybe, you know, just certain things like fire chains are giving you a problem. You got a good star of Azcaranth, however you pronounce it. Then maybe you're going to use that. But it all comes down to a very, like, an individual basis of what's going to be best and what you should use. And everyone everyone really needs to get used to this ideology and needs to be able to theory craft. And in a lot of my builds and a lot of my guides, I don't just list this, and that and say to use this and use that because it's better than this and better than that. Because I don't really believe that really says anything. In order to really be able to like I said, play the game at maximum efficiency, you need to know why you're using this or why you're using that. So when it comes to a situation, like I said, where maybe this might be more efficient than that in lower difficulty content compared to higher difficulty content, then you know to swap that. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of clear things up with you guys. Anyways, that's it. So that's my video for today. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you found it helpful. If you want, like, subscribe, share. It'd be much appreciated. And I will see you guys tomorrow.